happened to me today. It feels like forever since I've talked to you. It's not really. Literally was live talking to you last night at 10:30 p.m. Central Standard Time when everybody's off for Mardi Gras. But three big things happened to me today. Number one, polos are ready to go for the merch store, so you can get any AYS polo that you want. As you can see, we got the LSU purple and gold here. We got some hoodies, some dry fit hoodies that you can go and get there. But that's not really the biggest news that happened today, even though these fit fantastically. Nevertheless, it's not that I was marked safe on Facebook by being attacked by Shia LaBeouf in the city of New Orleans on this great and wonderful Mardi Gras day. No. Wasn't attacked by Shia LaBeouf. Now, I actually like Shia LaBeouf. I like his movies. I wish he would do more. That's neither here nor there. Alcohol and drugs will allegedly do a lot of things mentally to people that maybe that they wouldn't do or do sober. So I got marked safe on Facebook, I guess, by not being marked or not being attacked by Shia LaBeouf in a New Orleans Mardi Gras, which, by the way, I hope all of you are having a very blessed Mardi Gras day, Fat Tuesday, because I know a lot of you celebrate. And it's a great and very, very cultural thing that we experience here in Louisiana that, well, in the other really, I'll say 48 states, people don't really get to enjoy. So I'm glad and hope that all of you have had a Mardi Gras day. But no. It's not the biggest news that your boy got today. Because Shannon Terry of On 3 came out. This is not me taking a shot at Shannon Terry. And posted the top college football sports media impressions and the top people that were there. And I was like, because as a team here, we go through our numbers at pretty much every 2 weeks, right? Like we're not sitting there constantly looking at the numbers. Like every 2 weeks, as a team, we come together and say, hey, what is going on? What are people liking? What are people not liking so much? And we go from there. So today, Shannon Terry posted on 3, clearly leaving some people out, which he would later come back and state that he did, that some people got, like 500 million impressions. So I was like, hey, I know that we're like at 388 million impressions. Wouldn't that make us one of the biggest? And boy, wouldn't you know? See, the interesting thing about social media and posting stuff like that is that when you talk more than just LSU, or you talk LSU and the impact of Lane Kiffin, and going back and seeing that our Twitter reach or impressions, so to speak, in the month of December arguably could have been one of the biggest ever that we may ever have, is kind of like, hey, man, that's cool, I guess. At least to me, it was cool. Here's the truth. I understand the point that he was trying to make. He was trying to brag about On 3, and good on them. Talked to Jake Crane and them today. They do a fantastic job. Our relationship with Josh Pate. But it always is interesting to me, because I don't get to see everybody's numbers. I don't get to see people's numbers. Very, very, very interesting to get to see those. But merch store, Shopify.com, AYS Sports, where you can get your polos and stuff like that. Or number 2, didn't get attacked by Shia LaBeouf at a New Orleans Mardi Gras parade. And number 3, hey, man, okay, here we go. The truth about the media and college football space is pretty simple. It is simple in this. Guys, none of them, and I think this is what gets lost, and what somewhat got lost today of like, hey, man, I'm on top. Hey, man, I do really well. What gets lost is that it's all about the fan, and it's all about you guys that get us there. We're all here. Most of us started out independent, and now it's pretty much the cool thing to do. Keep grinding, man. So thank you. So to the 388 million impressions over the last calendar year. Thank you so much. It's been an interesting, this is the point that it really got to the conversation that happened today. And the real point I wanted to get to was think about the year that we just had from LSU athletic standpoint. There are big, massive events that we've had, whether you want to go football and you go in and dominating the portal defensively the way that you did. And I still think Brian Kelly and company did a really damn good job defensively in the portal last year. Mansour Delane, AJ Halsey, hello. Hello. You go in the football season and your season doesn't go as planned. Brian Kelly gets fired. Lane Kiffin is in. You dominate the portal yet again, and the real LSU is released. In the same calendar year, Jay Johnson won his second national title in 3 years at LSU, and you continue to dominate. Oh, and by the way, and I guess in the calendar year, you're 4-0 already in this early season. Women's basketball is still dominating. Gymnastics is still dominating. When you talk about it just being just different and you look back over the calendar year, it kind of is. It kind of is. That the truth of the matter was, even in one of your lowest points imaginable, whether it be Brian Kelly being fired and all the chaos that surrounded it when he did, guys, you've been the talk of the sport and you continue to be the talk of the sport. Like even when those talks are lies. There was a post today about Lane Kiffin on Instagram about, I guess, what he reposts or retweets on Instagram. I don't even know that was fake. And a lot of you believed it. A lot of you were like, oh, look at Lane. No. It's interesting that the calendar year, quite frankly, from football and now into baseball has been mainly about you because this place is just different. Nevertheless, we're live. Everyone do us a favor by hitting the like and share. Share to all those groups if you're on Facebook and to all those social media pages. You're watching us, listening to us on YouTube. Like, subscribe, notification bell wherever you listen to podcasts. Rate, review, and subscribe. So you're 4 games into the baseball season. We need to get to that. We'll talk about guys that stood out, obviously, at the plate, guys that stood out on the mound, kind of roll back through the first 4 games of the season, and just really how dominant you've been in those 4 games. Lane Kiffin, we did not get to this last night, embracing Louisiana, but, guys, I'm starting to get a very different feel about this team early on in the offseason. Some of the things that are happening in some of this development is a little bit different. We are going to get to that because, look, it is February the 17th. You got a long way to go until September the 1st. There's a lot of things that will be said. There's spring football that's right around the corner and things. And look, man, to be completely blunt with you, next week we'll be a month away from spring football, and Lane Kiffin takes the field with an LSU visor for the first time, or the practice field for the first time. Something to me in the things that I hear, the people that I talk to, and just the overall work that your team is putting in, guys, something's a little bit different about this offseason. 2 months, a month and a half, 2 months into it. We will get into that here tonight as well. So we do every Tuesday and Thursday, as we do every episode. Thoughts, questions, concerns, you can put them inside the Rudy Crew chat. We greatly appreciate y'all doing that. Ways to get involved in the show: send in super chats, become a member on the YouTube channel. By now, I'm assuming most of you know what you need to do. Let's get rolling here. Everyone do us a favor by hitting the like and share. Share to all those groups if you're on Facebook and to all those social media pages. You're watching us, listening to us on YouTube. Like, subscribe, notification bell wherever you listen to podcasts. Rate, review, and subscribe. Do us a favor. Just make sure and check. Tell all of your friends. Refer a LSU friend to come and sub to the YouTube channel. We do greatly appreciate that. Every AYS Sports show is brought to you by our good friends over at FanDuel. Download the FD Sportsbook app today. Use your mobile device in doing so. When we get to that football segment, Harlan Berry, what are the odds that he makes it to New York? What are the odds that he might make a Heisman push? Do you want to sprinkle a little money on that? You can do that with our good friends over at FanDuel. Sam Levitt plus 1,300 to win the Heisman Trophy next season as well. Go over to our good partners and friends over at FanDuel. Download that FD Sportsbook app. For any thoughts, questions, concerns, go to FanDuel.com/RG for more details. All right, let's get rolling. We do have some things in here. Shaquan, who's been a member for 3 months, says, Blake, you the GOAT. Thank you so much. Not as much as you, Shaquan. And he also sends a $2 super chat, says, anyone else's YouTube acting funny? Yeah, we were trying to upload something today, and it took like 5 hours, and it's still not even uploaded yet. So we shall see. We shall see. Happy birthday, Michael Jordan, says Todd Davis. Yeah, so when it comes to Michael Jordan on this show, I think I'm going to refrain from saying anything humanly possible about Sir Airness. I saw the clip that's going around. I don't know the context behind it. I don't know if there really is any context by the video that's circulating with Michael Jordan, just being blunt. I'm staying away from Sir Airness. Just, what are we doing? What are we doing? I don't think at any point in time that any of that is appropriate unless it's, I just don't think it's appropriate. So you can say happy birthday to Michael Jordan after the video I saw. I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to stay completely away from that. That's just me. It's just me staying completely away from it. Tyler Townsend's in the 318-31 great. He says, let's go. Good to have you in here. Caden Turner is in Watson, Louisiana. Yes, where is everyone watching from tonight? We do greatly appreciate y'all joining us. Where are we at? Nathan says, hashtag ask Blake, LSU baseball will struggle with pitching. Seems to be an issue. Hopefully Jay Johnson can get it fixed. I disagree with that. I disagree with that holistically. Struggle where? I think it's too early in the season to make that determination. Now, could they ultimately? Maybe. Maybe they very much can. When I bring that up, what I'd say about that is, guys, Anthony Ianson had a 7 ERA going into SEC play last year. Does he suck? Does he suck? No, he doesn't suck, and he didn't suck. There's nothing that we look at the Kent State thing as an example. Guys, it's early in the season. Is Texas going to suck? Is A&M going to suck? Are all these teams that are giving up runs to teams that they have no business giving up that amount of runs early in the season up to, or do they suck? No. UCLA already dropped a game. Guys, welcome to baseball. Welcome to baseball. You're going to be fine on the mound. I see people talking about William Schmidt. Oh, man. Yeah. My brothers and sisters in Christ Almighty, you gave up 5 runs by Anthony Ianson to Nebraska early in the season. Literally, this Saturday, or maybe this Sunday, will be a year ago that Anthony Ianson is fighting to hold off Nebraska. So, guys, that's not, we got to refrain our minds. I think Fontenot will be fine. I think that Casey Evans will be fine. I think a lot of these guys will be fine. I massively disagree with you there. Todd Davis with a $5 super chat before we get rolling here. He says, I have no idea of a video with a $5 super chat. Just saying happy 63rd birthday to MJ. Yeah, Todd, I think you need to go thumbs up or thumbs down in the chat if you've seen the Michael Jordan video. I'll just leave it there. Rob Boudreaux, but thank you for the super chat. I mean, look, he's patting a kid on the rear end. I mean, over and over and over again, and I don't think he knows the kid. I don't think he meant any harm by it, but in today's society, man, you just can't do that, unfortunately. You just can't do that. Wayno is in the parish, the 504. Good to have you in here with us. Lisa gets her cheeks. I just love Lane as a stand-up guy. Well, Lisa, I love that you have a Trinidad flag and that you're in an LSU show. Thank you for coming a part of the LSU show. Thank you for making me money, because every time you click on it, I make money. So it's on you. So you come in here and try to clown. You're on a beach with a Trinidad flag. And by the way, I mean, I did an interview thing today. That whole thing is a joke. The whole Trinidad thing is a complete joke, and all of you on TikTok are definitely let me know. Thumbs down, thumbs up. I see him. He knows the family, says Southside Dion. I don't care if he knows the family at all. I could care less. I don't want any man, I don't care how well you know my kid. I don't care if you're my best friend. That to me, I think it's a little inappropriate. That's why I didn't want to talk about it, because people are going to defend it from each side. Guys, this world, man, this world we live in. Leaving that alone. All right. We're not leaving it alone. Talk about our good friends over at LPT Realty. Tyler Alexander, our good friends over at Red Stick. They've been dominating the market. That's why they're the best financial company for any home loans that you need, for any financial needs that you need. You want to buy a home, you need to get it to our good friends over at Red Stick. Let me get to a quick break. When we come back, we'll break down. We'll talk about the 4-game stretch that you had for baseball. I really have a feeling that things really are, and I know the saying, and I get, well, Blake's just saying that. Some of you said that I'm the negative guy, right? Things to me do feel a little bit different about this team under Lane Kiffin. We will talk about that from a football perspective as well here tonight. Let's get to a break. We're back next. Stay with us.
He will sell your house and find you a new. Well, Tyler's the man, he's here for you. If you want to buy or sell, well, it's not too late. Dial 955-0008. Just call 955-0008. Y'all call Tyler, he'll shoot you straight.
Hey guys, I want to tell you about our good friends over at Red Stick Financial. They're your local residential mortgage broker located right here in the heart of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. At Red Stick Financial, they find the bank that works for your particular set of needs to purchase the home of your dreams or refinance the current one. They truly are your partners in this process, and they pride themselves in helping individuals and families with one simple goal in mind, and that is to make home financing approachable, attainable, and stress-free. They are licensed in all Louisiana, Texas, and Mississippi. So from Amarillo to Meridian and everything in between, they have you covered. Red Stick Financial brings you creative, customized solutions, and they don't believe in the one-size-fits-all when it comes to loans. They even have special options for mobile and manufactured homes located in a flood zone and stated income financing for those of us who are self-employed borrowers. If you or someone you know is looking to buy a home, refinance an existing mortgage, or simply want to know what options are out there for your future, give Red Stick Financial a call today at 225-407-9250. That's 225-407-9250. Or check them out online at redstickfinancial.com. That's redstickfinancial.com. Before you purchase the home of your dreams or you go and do that refinance, you need to go local. Go Red Stick. We're back, man. Some of you need to refrain your brains about what baseball actually is. All I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Some of you are going to look very, very, very foolish if you don't. Let's get into it here. A couple of ways to get involved in the show. Send in super chats. Become a member on the YouTube channel. Do all that. We greatly appreciate it. Hit the like and share. And do us a favor. Subscribe down below if you haven't done so already. We greatly, greatly appreciate y'all doing that. So, wanted to kind of give a little bit of a recap now that we have a day. I mean, look, you had 4 games in 4 days. You'll play again tomorrow. Sidebar, we will not be live immediately following the game. We will be live in a regular scheduled time at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time tomorrow. We'll recap the game that was against Nichols and talk about some other things here. But I do think it's time, in a really good time now early in the season. You have a 4-game stretch. You go 4-0, and quite frankly, I thought there were some times of simple dominance. I think Kent State is a really good team that more than likely could win their conference. A team, guys, not only, you have Milwaukee that could win their conference. You have Kent State that a lot of people believe that they could win their conference. You might even find them in the postseason later on in the season. We'll see how all of that plays out. Long, long way to go. But now that you're out of the start of the 4-game cap, now that you're out of the start of the 3-game series and the +1 that you had against Kent State, we're going to break that down and just things that we saw, observations, and moving forward. Now, we're going to get to 5 guys at the plate and 3 guys on the mound that just clearly stood out to me. And then we'll talk about some of the rest at the end of this. Let's start at the plate first. You got to start out with Jake Brown. Now, last night we talked about Jake Brown and how I think he might be the hottest hitter in the country. Now, some would argue that the kid who hit 3 grand slams against Baylor, well, how did all of those guys get on base? How did 9 guys get on base against a team, guys, the team sucked that they played? But, as my voice cracks, but I think Jake Brown right now is one of the hottest hitters in the country. He's hitting .529 with 4 home runs, 9 hits on 7 plate appearances. He's got 10 RBIs and 7 runs. There's a couple of things going back and watching Jake Brown that's very apparent to me. The level of confidence is at an all-time high. The level of development is at an all-time high. You know, the analogy that I'd make right now and starting the season for how good Jake Brown has been, if you walk in the woods tomorrow at any given point and you see a bear and Jake Brown wrestling, help the bear. Help the bear, because this dude cannot be beaten at all. At all. Jake is a guy that we always knew had the ability. Really, really good speed, really good arm, really good hitter with a lot of power. Could he really put all of that together? We're early in the season. He is. He's hitting .529. And by the way, when you look at Jake Brown, he does have 2 walks on the season. So even seeing the ball well, later part of that. Now, you had a game against Milwaukee where he struck out twice, swinging at high fastballs. They thought he was pressing a little bit too much. But the leader of your team, at least the leader of your offensive team, resettles in and does what he needs to do and really tattooed the baseball last night. And I think there was a couple of things too. I really thought Jake Brown was going to bunt down the third base line when they shifted on him. You leave something over the heart of the plate and he tattoos it in the deep center. It's about doing what's best for the team, and yet he's having a lot of success in doing it. Right now, I think Jake Brown is definitely one of the hottest hitters in the country. Will that continue when you go up now against 3 P4 teams this upcoming weekend? Now, we could talk about Nichols, and I am not going to preview Nichols for tomorrow's game because, quite frankly, they are just not a good baseball team. Doesn't mean anything. A national championship team went to Thibodeau last year and kind of got in a little bit of a dogfight. With all of that being said, they're not a really good team. If you handle your business, you should take care of them. What will be interesting tomorrow, who's going to start? What do you do with Cooper Williams? The biggest question that I have is, what do you do with Cooper Williams? But back to Jake Brown. I just think he's the hottest hitter in the country because when you see a lot of these power guys and you see what Jake Brown can do on top of that, I mean, really the only two or three things you could point out was him losing the ball in the sun, some of the strikeouts that he had where he's swinging up in the zone. Yeah, okay, well, that's baseball. Welcome to it. If you can continue to get that level of power from Jake Brown, the sky is the limit for him. Half of his home runs that he had last year, he's already gotten into 4 games of this season. And he's going to get better. Timing will get better. Like for a lot of these guys, like the guy that we'll talk about next, and Kate Beatty, I think he could be – I think that, you know, as the season goes on, he's just going to continue to get better, even with the competition getting better as well. Some timing with Kate Beatty, if he's able to get to the ball a little bit faster, timing will be a little bit better. I think Kate Beatty can be even better than what he's shown early in the year. But Jake Brown is hitting on all strides. Definitely the biggest standout at the plate so far in this early season. Speaking of Kate Beatty, he's hitting .412 in the early part of the season through 4 games, 7 of 17 with a home run and 5 RBIs. With another guy with the ability off of the charts. You know, you look at Kate Beatty through 4 games, he's hitting .421. And guys, quite frankly, I think there was a lot left on the plate for him this weekend. A lot that was left on the plate for him. A lot of balls that he hit to the opposite side of the field, hitting in the right field, and it feels just like a timing issue to me. Just a timing issue. Some of these guys are trying to throw him inside, and when they do, he's a little bit late on it, and he's hitting it in the right field. What happens when that timing starts getting to a place where he's able to take that inside pitch and put it up 440 feet in the left field bleachers? That's the part that I'm waiting for with Cade Arrambide. With that part being said, even though I thought that there were some things that were left on the plate, he still dominated. Hitting .421 with 7 hits through 4 games. The sky is the limit for him. Now, I think Jay Johnson knows baseball. Newsflash, hot take. I think Jay Johnson really is good at this baseball thing, especially coaching it. He had a massive statement in the offseason, which we've talked about. He had a massive statement in talking about Cade Arrambide being arguably one of, if not the best guy maybe that has developed this offseason, but overall could be the best player on your team when it's all said and done. Those are massive words to heed when you see all of the talent that are on your team, not just at the plate, but on the mound as well. Guys, again, I've been thinking about this all day with Cade Arrambide. The thing that is so encouraging for me is that timing is going to get squared away, and he's going to start hitting the ball hard, and he's got to start hitting for a lot of power. Now, the one thing that I am paying attention to Cade Arrambide, it's not the timing at the plate. It's not some of the things and maybe getting back some of those things that he probably wishes that he could take back at the plate. Just some of the pass balls, some of the wild pitches, and being able to haul those in. I think he'll be better there, but some of those in crucial SEC play moments will come back to bite you in the arse, and you can't have those. Can he continue to develop there? Will be a big question. We forget how clutch Luis Hernandez was behind the plate. Now, I thought Cade Arrambide in games 1 and 2 where he did catch and he didn't DH, he was pretty flawless behind the plate. In that being said, I thought last night there were some things that I'm sure at the behind the plate he wished he could have had back that had some runners advance. Not that it mattered, not that guys scored on you because of it, because the best way that I could describe this in the 4-game start of the season, I see exactly what Jay Johnson's talking about. I see it. This kid has immense power. Timing gets a little bit better at the plate. He's getting jammed. I mean, the 2 that he had last night, both fly balls in the right field. The one, I think it was on Sunday. Don't quote me on that one. But the other one he hit in right field, he's getting jammed. And that's a lot of power for a guy getting jammed, hitting it as hard as he is into right field the way that he is. That's going to be fixed. More timing, more rhythm, more connection at the plate. And those things are going to get squared around, and he's going to hit it 440 feet into the bleachers. You can bet that. Seth Dardar. Guys, we came into the season for 3 weeks talking about who's going to take care and who's going to really lock down that second base position. It didn't take long at all. Guys, quite frankly, it took maybe a half of a game. When Seth Dardar came in and for Braden Simpson, and he hits a massive bomb, he hits another massive bomb later in the weekend, and then now what he did last night, it is over. Like, that position right now is locked down. That is not to say that in the future that Simpson doesn't get a start at second base, Tanner Reeves doesn't get a start at second base. Depending on, like, I could see Jay, who does this a lot, Braden Simpson starting at second base when you have a lefty starter on the mound. With that being said, I do think overall the most disciplined guy at the plate that I've seen by far has been Seth Dardar. So he's hitting 400, but he's walked 5 times, 3 times last night in 10 plate appearances. The power is 1,000% there. Now, I do think Rucker is going to continue to come in these late game situations for defensive purposes. And in those defensive purposes, it's a lot like a Paxton Kling, just at a different position, where Rucker has a lot more range and is a lot more valuable with his glove than what Seth Dardar currently is. Not to say that Seth isn't good at all. However, his biggest strength is what he's going to do for you at the plate. The discipline that he has been insane early in the year. And this coming from a situation where in the offseason, look, he came to LSU and was struggling. But it's not all just the 5 walks for Seth Dardar for me that are impressive. Last night's at bat where he started off in an 0-2 or maybe 1-2 count, I forget what it was, working that to a full count and taking the ball the opposite way on an off-speed pitch that was a borderline strike and hitting it into left field was as beautiful a swing and beautiful an approach that you're going to have at the plate. That second base battle is over. It is, ladies and gentlemen, it is over. The power that he possesses is God-given, man. I mean, goodness gracious. We knew coming into the season when Seth Dardar, let me not say coming into the season, when Seth Dardar left Kansas State and committed to LSU, and coming home, we looked at Seth Dardar and the appearance that he had against us a season ago. Taking the number 3 overall pick in Cade Anderson, taking him deep. And a guy I'm sure in high school that he might have seen when those two faced off, because he's from Mandeville. So is Cade Anderson. And he got a hold of one. But then he got to Casey Evans too. And it took a historically amazing play by Pearson, Milam, and Luis Hernandez for you to win that game versus Kansas State. So you come into a situation where Seth Dardar is struggling in the offseason. He starts picking it up when the fall gets here because, of course, he does. And right now, he is one of the best. I would say I think he's the most disciplined at the plate right now. The walks speak for themselves. The opposite field hitting speaks for itself. And then just the power of knowing when to unload when he needs to and to really get a hold of one and use and be – look, it's the experience factor, really. And now that I'm kind of thinking about it, it's just the experience factor. You cannot teach. You just cannot teach that many plate appearances. Either you have it or you don't. Seth Dardar is not a guy that is going to be a first-round draft pick, at least not that we think of right now. Shit, we could look up and he's got 20 bombs on the season for all we know. But you need these high-level experienced guys, whether it's a Danny Dickinson or a Gavin Dugas or a Braden Jobert. Like, guys, those guys weren't first, second-round picks. But, boy, did they mean a lot to you for the experience factor, for the power factor. I mean, God forbid you take away 2023 what Gavin Dugas and Braden Jobert did. You take away what Danny Dickinson did for you a season ago. It's irreplaceable. The level of experience is something that you can't teach. And right now, Seth Dardar, 1,000% is displaying that. The big fella, Zach York. You know, the numbers don't necessarily completely just wow you right now. The big fella has 2 big bombs on the season. But there's something that is also amazing about this. He's tied for first with Jake Brown in runs scored. The big fella who can read a ball in the dirt and advance a base for you. The big fella who, when he gets a hold of one, the moon better be careful. Because if it's not, it's going to get hit by a baseball from Zach York. Defensively, other than last night, we just haven't seen him on full display. He's really, really good, man. He's really, really good. I bring up the analogy again of Big McDonald talking about West Coast, playing on the West Coast, and now coming here. I do think the sky is the limit for Zach York. I do think he's becoming a fan favorite. I do think that he is embracing what it is to wear the purple and gold. But, man, the big fella's locked in. The power is there. The power is there. I do think as the season goes on, he will get more into a rhythm because you've seen the power. You've seen what he can do. There have been some plate appearances for the big fella that, quite frankly, I'm sure that he wants back. Right? Like the home run where they reviewed it and the next pitch he swings the ball in the dirt and he strikes out. Last night on a curveball in the dirt, he strikes out. Or some of the pitches that he probably should have laid off of that he fouled off that got caught. regardless of that, you see what you're getting from Zach York. I'm telling you right now, man, he might not get to the 25 home runs of Bear Jones, which congratulations to Bear Jones on getting engaged. But defensively, you take a massive leap up. The play with him and Milam last night is chef's kiss. I think he's going to start taking the ball the other way. I think as this continues to go on into this weekend, that Zach York is going to continue to be a critical piece of a run that you're trying to make here. Trent Caraway, as we wrap up the guys at the plate that really stuck out for me, Trent Caraway stands out to me a lot. Look, it's not that he's wowing you with his numbers. He went 5 of 13 in the 4 games that he played. Probably should have been 7 of 13. Probably should have been around the same around average as Jake Brown. Like the ball that he hit right back up the middle on a line drive that gets caught by the second baseman because of a shift. Or whether it's another line drive that they're just perfectly placed in game 1. Trent Caraway is really seeing the baseball well. He is squaring up the baseball very well and sending it right back from where it comes. At some point, I don't know when this is going to be. At some point when you're squaring up the baseball that well as Trent Caraway is right now, at some point that power that he displayed last year in the postseason where he hit 6 bombs is going to show up. It's going to show up. You don't square the ball up like the one that he had the 3 RBIs on, the 3 RBI triple. Guys, it knuckled. Go back and watch it. He hits it so square on. It knuckles. This kid is really seeing the ball well. When does the power that he has displayed, when does that power start showing up? Is it this weekend? Is it next weekend? Is it the weekend after that? I don't know. I simply do not know. What I do know is when you're squaring the ball up as often as Trent Caraway is, at some point, these big bombs, these big doubles that you're hitting in the left center field, right center field are going to start showing. But right now, your 8-hole hitter and Trent Caraway, 7-8-hole hitter, guys, is hitting the ball as hard as anybody on this team. The 3 RBI triple that he had, guys, left the bat at 108 miles an hour. At some point, that's going to fall. Guys, that's 5 guys in your lineup that showed a high level of display. And look, some of these things I know that they won't back. They were not perfect. I mean, other than Jake Brown, really. And even then, baseball will be baseball. But right now, in the early part of the season, I got to be blunt with you. At the plate, I think, look, you're doing what I expected you to do. But to some extent, because of these 5 guys, I feel like LSU is a little bit more than I expected him to be at the plate. Like I expected some more struggles, honestly. Like I expected you to have a little bit more struggles. But, guys, I look at every game that you've played. Look how many runs you're scoring. That's the only name of the game. You're doing exactly what you were supposed to do. Half of your lineup has been flawless. It has been flawless. Dardar has taken that second base role. You've seen the power from York. Jake Brown has really come into his own into his 3rd year and showed the power display, already getting to half of his home runs that he tallied from last season. And then I look at Cade Arrambide. When some of this timing gets down, can he be a little bit better behind the plate in some of these pass ball, wild pitch situations? We shall see. But when that timing gets going, he will get going. And here's the dangerous thing about this team. I didn't even bring up Derek Curiel, who I think is back. Not the opening series that I think the big fella wanted himself. Line drive in the left, double in the left. The big fella's back. Didn't mention him. Wanted to put Mason Braun on here. Didn't mention him. Because I think as Mason Braun continues to gain experience, the sky's the limit for that young freshman as well. Didn't bring up Stephen Milam, who also had a really great performance this past weekend. Didn't bring up what's happening at left with Chris Stanfield, which, by the way, yeah, Brandon, I remember. Stanfield. It is to my knowledge that LSU's put out that he's got a swollen hand and a very much bruised hand after sliding into the plate, and you can see it on the replay, kind of gets his hand jammed. LSU is currently putting out that he does not have a broken hand. Whatever these little AI bot generated Twitter guys are, I don't know who they are. Guys, be careful. Because I got sent that like 3 times today, and I'm like, no. Be careful. But I didn't even mention what you're doing in left. Didn't really mention what you're doing at DH besides Mason Braun. Guys, you're a really, really good baseball team. And it's already starting to show itself. All right. Let's get to the mound very quickly. Guys, I only have 3, and these are in no specific order, just like the other one was in no specific order. I think you got to start off with the first part of the season, things that stand out, obviously Cooper Moore. 6 innings pitched, 11 strikeouts. He does give up the home run. The only blemish, almost had 2 Ks per inning in his first start as a Tiger. Nasty stuff, man. Changeup is absolutely electric and falls off of a table. And it's just going to be continued to be interesting for me to see how he progresses. The stuff is there. The high-level SEC stuff is there. Not going to blow you away with his fastball, even though I think that he can to some degree when this weather starts picking up and it starts getting a little bit warmer. I do think he's going to his velocity will take a tick up. But the slider, the curveball, the changeup, all of it, the 4-seam, 2-seam, he can locate it with the best of them. He's got really good stuff. Milwaukee looked lost. He had 1 mistake pitch, and it got sent over the bleachers. Normally that doesn't happen. Not always is that going to happen. Well, unfortunately for him, it did. Cooper Moore was as flawless as you can be in a starting position. Like I look at Florida, look at Tennessee, I look at South Carolina, I look at some of these other teams, I look at Texas. Guys, I know Texas is like they were winning when we started the show. I think it was like 8-4 when I last looked at it. Because they're getting touched. They're committing errors all over the place. And right now, Cooper Moore had one of the better performances that we have seen in college baseball through 4 games. Probably get a little bit longer of a leash this weekend. Probably will get a longer leash after that. And you get a month into the season. And, hey, man, do what you do. The competitive fire is there, too. I went back and watched when it looked like Jay was going to come and get him after 5 2/3 innings. He's like, I'm finishing. Can he continue? Cooper Moore was absolutely filthy. Changeup was absolutely filthy. Look, you're 1 game into his tenure. You're 1 game into it. So let's continue to watch Cooper Moore and see how good he can be. Number 2, it's got to be Gavin Guidry. 2 appearances. We talked about him a lot last night. I'm not going to mention a lot here tonight. 4 1/3 innings pitched. Guys, get this. Gavin Guidry has faced 4 guys at the plate through 2 appearances. He struck out 10 of them. Now, I saw a clip that was out there saying, well, man, if Gavin Guidry can get up to 93 miles an hour and sit at 92, 9-3 with the nasty breaking stuff that he has, he'll be fine. Well, that video was produced on a Sunday or Monday, whenever in the hell it was. And then Gavin Guidry comes around and is sitting at 93. If you can't see the level of purpose that Gavin Guidry has right now, and what he said in a post game of like, look, man, this game got taken away from me. And we were live when he did it. So it's not like that I could see that he said it while we were live. We were live and he came out and said it. I couldn't see it then, but he said it himself. The level of purpose is there. Nobody is dicking anybody down, more than Gavin Guidry. The hammer is back. And guys, he was sitting at 92, 93 last night. Some of these guys, and more than he gets in the location, in the confidence, in his fastball, in his 2-seam, and his cutter, whatever he's going to throw the most consistent, whatever one it is, guys, he's going to lock some people up. You cannot have the level of filthy shit, whether it's the slider, the curveball, the changeup, whatever. You don't have that dirty and nasty of pitches. And then guys see a 93 mile an hour fastball on the corner on the black and not get locked up. Gavin Guidry is going to continue to get better here. He will play a massive, massive role in your season. We can already tell. He will play a massive role this weekend. And on Thursday, you and I will discuss your opponents in Indiana, Notre Dame, and UCF. But Gavin Guidry, man, 14 guys have come up, and he struck out 10 of them. I mean, other than striking out all of them, how more flawless can you be? How more flawless can you be? You can't replace the level of experience in baseball. Right, quite frankly, right now what we're seeing, whether it be men's basketball, whether it be football, whether it be baseball, right now, how are teams in the NIL era winning? Let's talk about it. Indiana. They had a team that had more snaps than anybody because they were old as shit. Florida in men's basketball. Arizona in men's basketball. Name them. Last year in baseball. Because Michael Bradswell, as an example, at third base, he played short and started and relieved for South Carolina as a true freshman. He started at shortstop for South Carolina as a true sophomore. He started at shortstop for you as a junior and third for you as a senior. You can't replace that level of experience. Denny Dickinson, you can't replace it. Now Jake Brown, you can't replace it. Bear Jones, you can't replace it unless you replace it with those same level of experience. What you're seeing with Dardar, what you're seeing with York. On the pitching side of things, you can't replace the experience that Anthony Ianson had, Cooper Moore. And nobody has more experience of being what it means to wear that purple and gold more than Gavin Guidry. No one. Look, boy, this one's going to get me in trouble. No, I'm gonna wait to hold off to that take because it will get me in trouble. But Gavin Guidry is literally doing what a lot of us thought that other fifth-year seniors, fourth-year seniors would be in other sports. I'll leave it like that. Phenomenal. Devin Sheeran, last but not least, Devin Sheeran. So, this guy's nasty, man. He's got 2 appearances as well. He's got elite stuff. He really does. Talk about a guy with purpose. Tears his ACL. He's out. He's at Mount St. Mary, who, by the way, Mount St. Mary did not beat Missouri 34-3, as some people posted. It was a mistype. I'm going to be intrigued to see what happens with him in SEC play. Like, I don't care what anything else happens with Devin Sheeran. I'm just ready to see him in SEC play. But he's been phenomenal, and he probably will continue that. All right. Let me get to a quick break. When we come back, we'll field some super chats. Lane Kiffin embraces Louisiana fully. How can you really embrace Louisiana until you Mardi Gras yourself? And, guys, I really do feel that something's a little bit different about this offseason. We'll talk about it next. Stay with us. Guys, I want to talk to you about our good friends over the Drake Williams Law Firm and Drake Title Company. Are you facing tough times due to an injury from a car accident, navigating the complexities of divorce, or purchasing a new home? At the Drake Williams Law Firm and Drake Title Company, they understand the challenges you're going through, and they are here to help. The lawyer team of Ernie Drake III, Ryan J. Williams, and Summer Vignair, along with Morgan Daniels, have the experience and proven track record to give you that peace of mind. Give them a call today at 985-386-7600. That's 985-386-7600 to schedule a free consultation at their brand new office located in historic downtown Ponchatoula. They're also doing a special, the AYS special. If you're refinancing or closing on a home in Southeast Louisiana, request the Drake Title Company to handle your closing. If you mention Blake Ruffino and AYS, you're going to receive a $400 discount on title fees. Again, Give them a call at 985-386-7600. Let them know that Blake Ruffino sent you on by. When your business, your farm, or your equipment needs fuel, you need someone that you can trust. At Crump Fuel, they deliver quality gasoline, diesel, and lubricants with honest service and local pride across South Louisiana and South Mississippi. From construction sites, marinas, convenience stores, and trucking companies, all the way down to generators and everyday operations, Crump Fuel keeps you rolling. Crump Fuel is family-owned and family-operated. With high quality and dependable delivery, they're always going to bring that competitive pricing. Call Crump Fuel today at 985-229-4976 or visit them over at crumpfuel.com. That's 985-229-4976 or visit them at crumpfuel.com today. Crump Fuel, where they're fueling the Gulf South in the right way. Guys, let me tell you about our good friends over at Grand Slam Heating and Air, where your comfort is their top priority. At Grand Slam Heating and Air, they promise to provide customers with high-quality HVAC service at an affordable price while ensuring the homeowner peace of mind. From their office to your home, they guarantee the best hassle-free experience around. Efficiency and comfort is their game. Let them make your home Grand Slam today. At Grand Slam Heating and Air, they're offering their annual maintenance plan starting off at $18.75 a month, and also doing those $99 tune-up promotions. They provide free estimates for system and ductwork replacement, as well as offering financing to get the job done with no money up front. From Baton Rouge to Hammond to Covington, they're all around. So what you need to do today, give them a call at 225-380-9065. That's 225-380-9065. Or go over to their website, getgrandslamair.com. That's getgrandslamair.com, where your comfort is their top priority.
We're back.
Dakota, I don't mean that you were wrong in the chat. I'm saying those guys were wrong because, of course, they are. Go to the people you trust, man. That's all I can say. In saying that, talking about those AI guys on Twitter, I'm going to break a rule that I have. So I saw a tweet today from a media member. Let me just say this. He's not a media member. Guys, you can't play the victim when you're wrong on your sourcing. Okay? You can't play the victim and then start attacking people that are in your own media core when you're getting it wrong. Bryce Kuhn doesn't even work here anymore, meaning for on the LSU beat. Idiots. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Stop attacking and put your head down. Stop playing the victim and put your head down and get to work. Get to work. So all your troubles will be answered if you put your head down and just get to work. That's all that this is. Put your head down, get to work. No one gives a shit. They don't care about our beefs in the media. They don't give about that shit. Put your head down and get to work, and everything else will change. All right. So Lane Kiffin went full embrace of Louisiana this week as he was at a Mardi Gras parade. He was in the Mardi Gras parade at Co-Grand Marshal and Mardi Gras parade. Look, I don't think that there is a way that you can embrace Louisiana by walking off in the 337 or going up to the 318 on Booger McFarland Lane. And I say going to the 337 and eat boudin. Go to Billy's Boudin for crying out loud. There's definitely not a way that you immerse yourself in Louisiana and its culture until you're in a Mardi Gras parade. Like, come on. Or just a parade in general, but mainly Mardi Gras. He's done that. Guys, there's something unique about this place that we all know. I don't have to tell you. There's nothing that I'm going to come out here tonight and say that you don't already know. There's nothing that hasn't been said. There's nothing that people around the country, and I mean this, around the country, whether it's sports related or just whatever related, when they talk about Louisiana and they talk about the culture just being different. It is. We will accept you as a person when you start embracing our culture. The truth of the matter is Louisiana people want you to embrace the culture because we want to brag about it. Man, have you never tried a king cake? You mean to tell me that you've never had a slice of king cake and the baby poking out? You've never had that. All right, well, we're going to do it. You've never been sitting around a crawfish bowl drinking beer with your buddies and then helping them pick the crawfish up out of the boiler or out of the pot and putting it on a table, and then all of you as a community feasting down. Going off in what might be the most cultured area of Louisiana, walking off in the 337. Everybody knows where Billy's Boudin is. Don't act like you don't. We want to brag about it. Being a co-grand marshal of a Mardi Gras parade, we want to brag about it. So we do. Embracing that and embracing that culture makes us proud and wants us to, we will accept you. To the highest order, you will be accepted. You will get what you need, whether it is just from a fan base or from a booster base, or you just wanting to be a part of the community that is LSU. You can't be a part of the community at LSU until you embrace it fully. That was your argument about Brian Kelly. Well, the complete opposite has been literally Lane Kiffin. But there's something about that embrace too, that I think when we've seen Lane embracing the state of Louisiana, bringing your entire offensive staff with you, to what we see that happens and how he deals off the field. So last night I had a little emergency here, got somehow cut myself and was bleeding open on the air. But this Jake Olson thing also displays that. Guys, the truth of the matter is I think if you talk to people, and I don't know how closer of a source I can get on this specific one, I thought that a lot of people thought that Jake Olson would potentially move on. He's not. Because Lane Kiffin's also listening to his defensive coordinator who really likes Jake Olson and wants him a part of the staff. And you did exactly what you needed to do to retain Jake Olson. You wanted him. Blake, you want him. He's your guy. You brought him from Missouri. He's done a good job at coaching safeties. Ask A.J. Halsey. Ask the development of Deshaun Spears. Now what? So you look at when a coach embraces the culture, when you're doing it on the grandest stage, how are you doing it behind closed doors? How are you in embracing a staff that you've never worked with? How are you embracing a team that, quite honestly, you don't really know? Because you don't. There's no way that Lane Kiffin and this staff knows this team. You don't. You simply do not. But when you embrace them and get to know them as a person, you start to understand what your culture ultimately will be and guiding them to fitting into the culture that you want to build. So, yes, the embrace of Louisiana and all of its culture, Boudin, Billy's Boudin, Booger McFarland Lane, co-grand marshal of a parade. Guys, it's only starting. Going into the heart of New Orleans, going into the heart of Algiers, and telling Bryce Brown and Edna Carr, hey, man, huh? Going into the heart of New Orleans and telling Eastern Royal, hey, dog, what up? How do you think the Richard Anderson and Lamar Brown thing ultimately went down? How do you, in your mind, how do you think it ultimately played out? Because Lane can go to a podium and say, hey, man, those guys came here because of LSU. And to some degree of what he's saying is true. To some degree, a Louisiana kid wants that LSU logo on his chest. We all know that. We would want it too. How do you think it ultimately played out? The Jake Olson thing will not get seen as something as of massive and utter significance. But I'm telling you, it probably should. because your defensive staff, mainly your main guy on the defensive side of things, wanted this guy to stay. Lane Kiffin made no bones about it. Yep, sounds good. Let's get this done. And I feel like every time that you found yourself in a corner, quote unquote, and pun intended, what's going on with Jordan Seaton? What's going on with Sam Levitt? What's going on with this offensive staff? What's going on with Blake Baker? What's going on with Jake Olson? What's going on with Lamar Brown? What's going on with Richard Anderson? What's going on with Deuce Geralds? What's going on with Trenton Henderson? Where have you lost? Where have you lost? So we talk about the change that is happening around, whether it be in just having a head coach that embraces you. Because right now, what you're seeing is pretty much what LSU should be. There are a lot of things that happen in the beginning when a team goes on a run. Like, I'll give an example. We just got done talking about LSU baseball, right? What were the signs of Jay Johnson early? Well, number one, recruiting at a high level, developing from within. Like, you saw those things instantly. Like, you saw those things with Kay Beloso. Yeah, you got Tommy Tanks and Paul Skeens. Yeah, you got Dylan Cruz. But the development of a guy at second base in Gavin Dugas, Kay Beloso, Braden Jobert. You saw early signs of why this could be a dynasty level run. You turn around and you look at the fine tuning of things, going and doing the unthinkables, like bringing in Wes Johnson, who was a pitching coach for a Major League Baseball team in the middle of a season, because there's nothing the Minnesota Twins could do. Nothing. Not a damn thing. LSU walked off into the state of Minnesota and said, "We're LSU." And Wes said, "See ya. See ya." You're starting to get that, man. And I think it's trickling over to the developmental side of things off the field this offseason. So there was a photo that was released, by the way, of Harlem Berry, Jabari Mack, Easton Royal, who's the number one receiver in the country, and Deshaun Spears from sources, I've been told. We've been seeing pictures and videos and stuff of Harlem Berry, and you saw of Jabari Mack, both guys from New Orleans. Saw a pic with Easton Royal, who's the number one recruit at the wide receiver position in the country. So I started asking some questions. You know, we see that Harlem Berry looks like he's putting on some weight. We see him running at 22.7 miles per hour at 98% of velocity. But my man, Harlem Berry, is arguably with the best speed guy and the best technical guy that is inside the state of Louisiana, and Hutch Gonzalez. Now, some of you will know Hutch Gonzalez at Mandeville and these other places. The level of work that it seems to me that some of these guys are putting in after the fact is not the same that we've seen from the past. You know, the biggest complaint that I would have of the Brian Kelly era, one of the biggest complaints, was I feel like at the end of it, your team just didn't work hard enough. Like, you didn't work, like Jane Daniels, Malik Neighbors, and Brian Thomas Jr. always being at the facility at 5 a.m. throwing to one another. Always. Didn't matter. They were going to be there. Chris Hilton being there with them. Did not matter. They were going to do it. But it's a couple of guys like Deshaun Spears that I'm really keeping my eye on. Jabari Mack that I'm keeping my eye on. Harlem Berry that the entire country is keeping his eye out on. But, man, I will tell you, Eastern Royal being in the middle of all of that, well, boy, that's going to be interesting. But it doesn't stop there. You know, guys, we'll see this team, and let's just call it about a month. Like, let's not fight over semantics. It's technically not a month. It's technically 34 days, and they open spring. Okay. Guys, there's something that is different about this offseason from a football perspective. The things that I'm hearing around the football team, not even more than a month into this offseason, is the level of work and how high of a level that work has been. Now, I always look at this from a side of caution. The reason that I always look at with a new administration, with a new head coach, and everything being new, you go through this honeymoon phase, right? Nothing that they can do is wrong. You're in the honeymoon phase. We all love one another. Nothing can go wrong, ever. But then when you go through the honeymoon phase, and you've been through it a couple of times, you start cutting through the bullshit. And a lot of us have just kind of been cutting through the bullshit. What is the truth? Well, I see the level of work that this team is putting in. I hear stories of this coaching staff bringing this team together and the level of work that they're all putting in, whether it be with the team or outside of it, whether it's getting treatment that we don't want to talk about. And when I mean treatment, like if you're sore or nicked up, getting the treatment and doing the things disciplinary right to be able to become a team that you ultimately want to become. Let's call it what it is, guys. When this is all said and done, whether Lane wants to talk about expectations or not, whether unfair expectations are placed on them or not, none of that matters. Guys, LSU is a place that it is a playoff team or bust in the new world of college football. It is playoffs or bust. So if it is truly playoffs or bust, are you putting in playoff or bust work? You know, last year I had LSU outside of my playoff. I also thought that you would be 9-3 or 8-4. I was wrong. But I didn't think that you were putting in a level of work necessary. I've taken a lot of criticism behind that take. Well, I shouldn't, because the product is in the pudding. Literally, to some degree, for some players last year that probably ate way too much pudding. The level of competition that you have at each position is starting to separate itself of, I better get to work or I'm not going to play. Lane Kiffin walking off in, whether it be a media situation or a player meeting situation. And he goes up to all the players. He goes up to the meeting and says, hey, knock, knock, knock. I don't give a shit what any money you are making. I don't give a shit. Best player's going to play. Best player's going to play. And we got a lot of really good ones. So you better put the work in. And I'm hearing that they are. So where do we stand? Do we see some things that we need to see in spring? Well, we're a month away from finding that out. All right. Let's get to some super chats before we get out of here. Stephen Young with a $5 super chat says, people need to calm down on William Schmidt slander and go watch Cam Johnson is doing it at Oklahoma. Skip Johnson's a really good pitching coach, but I agree with you. I 1,000% agree with you. Why? Because he gave up 3 runs. I mean, you can see the stuff's there. He's not as wild as he was a year ago. He's not. He isn't. Does he need to get the walks down? Yeah. Does he have high-level elite shit? Yes. What this is, Steven, this is what's crazy to me. People are making an opinion on him on one outing, and they haven't seen him other than that outing. Again, I bring up Anthony Ianson, by the way, a lot. Hey, man, I mean, like, you can't ignore a 7 ERA in the non-conference and then dominating in the SEC. You can't ignore that. Then you explain it. You explain how that happened. Yeah, they need to get off of him. Brandon with a $5 super chat says, Blake, I love seeing Lane. Mardi Gras parade, he gets it. He does get it. He does get it. He's doing everything you've asked him to do. You can't have success at this place until you embrace it. We just learned that if you didn't know, now you know. If you didn't know, now you know. Right? If you didn't know before, now you know. Brian Kelly taught all of us a hard lesson, but I agree. He's doing everything he needs to do. Get Gooder with a $5 super chat, says hashtag Go Tigers. Good to have you in here. And Rhonda McCrew became a member on the YouTube channel. Thank you so much. I will see you tomorrow, as we'll probably be posting some members-only content tomorrow. So tomorrow when we ask for questions, y'all go and do it. All right. Any more super chats? No? All right. See y'all tomorrow. Regular scheduled time. LSU plays baseball tomorrow. We're back at it. We'll see y'all then. Y'all have a blessed night. Peace.